This is Short Hammer. It is the 3rd of November 2020, and this is Trading Zones. Today is the election, so be careful with any of your positions because we don't know what the results will be, and the market could go in either direction, right? So we'll see. But what I'm watching for on the MES is just look at these levels. We're getting great range the last few days. And we see, well, first of all, right, on this drop initially, we can sort of track back a few. Feathered the line here at 33.56, went back up. Next wave down, we see that we get a bounce at 33.29 off of this candle, right? Then the next one, if we pierce through the levels, we're seeing a pullback, right? And right now we got a feathering, right? We didn't quite get to the 32.21. But what we want to look back to is if you look back here at the last strong drop that we had, which was around the end of September, we kind of bottomed out around the 32.11s, right? And the buyer finally stepped back in and we went back to the upside. So here we're bottoming out around the 32.25-ish area, right? And I'm not saying we're going to retrace and go back and test these highs around 35.25. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that if we are going to run, then this wasn't a bad dip here, right? If we look back at the end of September. So what I'll be watching for me personally, I may scalp, but I really will be in nothing whatsoever at all when the results of the election are announced. And I'm going to wait to see the direction the market chooses. But the levels that we're going to be watching head into tomorrow are the 33.29s, 33.56s, 33.83, 34.24. To the downside, the 32.86.25, 32.59, and 32.21. So I'm watching these levels that even after the announcement is made, right? If you're playing the futures, I'll be watching for an extension. And when the extension reaches these lower levels or these upper levels, I'll be watching candle structure, pivots, and I'll be watching these lines and looking for great entries using my EMAs. And usually it's on the 10-minute and the 2-minute that I'll be using to be able to find those entries, right? So that's interesting for me on the MES. I will be watching it. Nice little dip here. We'll see. Today was like a rotation day. You saw, some of the blue chips getting sort of selling, but some of the smaller caps, people are just sort of putting money into those. So that's interesting. We'll see. The RTY, we see the same little reversal here. So what we're watching for, strength of the small caps. What we're going to watch for next up is the 1560 holds, right? Look for the 1612s and 1630s. If we head back down, watch out for the 1516s and the 1453s. But if money has been rotating into small cap, keep an eye on this because this may continue to go up. But we have to see the reaction to the election results, right? And based on the reaction to it, sort of wait and then play that trend, whichever direction the trend is going. So we'll see what we get. It may take a day or so for things to shake out, but the market will definitely have a thesis and we'll get a nice direction. On to Amazon, one of my favorite stocks of all time. I love Amazon. So we did have a drop down to the 2950s. We see this line, and the buyers did step in, try to give us a nice little bounce here. And this is, more than 40 points back up almost, right? Definitely more than 30. So what I'm watching for on Amazon, uh, just let's see after the results are announced if we get a nice rally to the upside, right? So I'll be watching these levels on Amazon. And if you look at this down wave here, this 28.80, 87-ish is here. We saw roughly the same dip here, 28.87. We see this here where it's flagging, broke to the upside. So this is on the 4-hour chart also for Amazon. So on Amazon, I'm watching to the upside this 30.20, this 30.68, this 31.93, and this 32.68 level. What I want to see here is, if I'm going to be bullish, right? I want to get above this 32.20, and I want to see some green momentum candles to the upside. I want those bad boys to be big, and for us to advance over 30.68 and then get a squeeze into the 31.93 area. We'll see. But that's what I would want. I wouldn't want this to continue to make lower lows. Because if we dip below the 28, and this is how I look at things. Let me scrunch this up so you can sort of see. This area here, which is this 28.87 and above, is the new normal, right? The new normal for Amazon. This temporary breakout area after July. This area down here, if we do sell hard back into the 2400s and below, man, that's where we could end up back. Look back on Amazon. So this area is insanely high where we are right now. It's the new normal. But if we sell hard and get through 28.87s, we'll see the dips at 27.81 and this 26.60 by 26.26 area. So that's all interesting on Amazon. But I'm just watching to see these levels. I will, if I see something on the intraday, on my 10-minute chart, I may scalp it, for a few points, like 10 points or 15 points or something like that. But for the most part, I'm going to be watching until after the election to see the trend and wait for an entry. Okay. Next up is Netflix, which has been interesting. Had a nice little spike last week when they announced that we're raising the sub prices. And since then, sort of dipped below this consolidation. So we'll see if we could buy up through the 486s. And, maybe we can. But I believe what I mentioned on Netflix before was when it gets above the 550s, look for weakness. And when it gets down near those 460s, look for strength, look for buyers to step in. So, below these 460s or below 475, however you want to phrase it. When it starts to get down to this area, if you're short, you want to exit that bad boy if you've been short for a bit and see if it reverses. One of these days it won't. One of these days it'll drop into the 457s and it will sell down to the 447s by 440s. We'll see. But for now, it seems when we drop near those 460s, the buyers do tend to step in. And one of these times it'll be wrong and the buyers won't step in. We'll see. But if I'm watching Netflix, keep an eye on the 486. If we get above that and we can get above the 490s, watch for a potential squeeze into the 504s by the 507s. And if we get above that, then we may be pushing towards these 550s again. Remember, a lot of these previous trends can get blown out of the water by the result of the elections. So be careful, because we're looking at these 550s and these 460s, and that can get blown out of the water based on the election. So be careful and try to be patient. There'll definitely be some great setups, and you'll sort of see where the smart money is going, because there will be some decisions made based on who wins on what stickers, what stickers, on what tickers people want to invest in. Peek at Facebook, and we're sort of hovering here, right around those 260s. We want to see if we can buy up above the 264s and get a little bit of bullish action and a run back up to the 279s. It's below this area, which is my temp swing door, meaning below I'm a little bit more bearish. Above this area, I'm a little bit more bullish. So we'll see if we can get back above this and get a separation, right? Right now we have bearish separation to the downside. So we'll see if we continue to dip here. If we get below the 261s, the 254s are up next. Below that, the 247s. And you really, if you look at this candle structure, you really want the 247s to hold based on this structure here, looking from early July, like around the 7th of July, all the way into the 13th of July. We dipped, we went back there again, more consolidation on the 21st of July. Back, use that by like this area here, all this consolidation, right? Then we broke through, back tested, held here, all these highs. We dipped back down, rode that 247 area, went back up. So if we look at this, each wave, right? Higher, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Now this is, I know this is a little bit lower, but it's roughly an equivalent low. So it's not technically a lower low. So from my perspective, right? So we'll see if we dip below these 260s, but if we get strength and bearish action below those 260s, then yeah, pattern is gone. But if we get a buy up here, then we look for a high wave. So we'll see how that shakes out on Facebook. But we look at this trend right here. Each time we've touched, we haven't spent much time below it except for the break here. So we'll see if this maintains, but that's a break of that little trend we had going on Facebook. NVIDIA. So let's see, we're below the 514s here. Next up are the 475s. If we continue to dip, we see buyers here at this 475s. If that holds up, we'll see. If we hit that area, if we'll go sideways, if we'll break through. 460 is our swing door area. So we'll see how that shakes out on NVIDIA. For a lot of these tickers, I'm in wait and see mode. Based on the elections, we should get a strong reaction. That's what I'm expecting, right? Either way, I'm expecting a strong reaction, and for a lot of these tickers, for a choice to be made. Either we're going up or we're going down. I'm not expecting sideways action, so I'll be watching for that. Using these lines that we have to the upside, the 514s, above that, the 531s, 555s, then potentially the 589s might feather that to the downside, 475, 460, 454, 446. The way that I use these lines on the intraday, on the 10-minute, I utilize these pivots and EMAs, and I look for a trend. So if we get an overextension, right, and we see volume decreasing as we're selling, we get an overextension into a level, I look for an entry on the lower time frame to sort of ride it back up, dead cat bounce or whatever it could be. The same way that if we get an overextension to the upside on the intraday, I look for an entry to be able to fade back down, or a break and hold of each line to me is a ride into the next line, right? And a failure below is a ride into the lower line. And just try to ride these waves as they happen. So I'll be watching NVIDIA. Microsoft. we like this 202 look here. Back to, this is June. 202s, 202s, 202s. Riding it here a little bit, even though we see a little bit of leakage below 197s. But technically, this is still riding that 202 area. Then pull back here, 202s, 202s, 202s. Strong dip below here into the 195s, but we didn't spend too much time below that. We didn't get any bearish advancement to the downside here. Reclaim those 202s pretty quickly. Right? Look at this 202s, 202s again. And now we're back to the 202s. We'll see if we get a leak to the 195s, but it seems as if we're waiting for something here again, and it's probably the elections, and we'll see how this reacts. To the upside, we have the 208, the 213s, 215s, 217s, and 221s. To the downside, below the 202 level, we have the 195, and buyers did step in last time we feathered that area. Below that, the 191s, and 187s, 185s, 183s. We see a little bit of structure here in the 185, 183 area. Yeah, even up to 187s. Look at this structure. So this is interesting. Nice structure here where we see the tops, all this area, pull back into it, started this little breakout. So if you're looking at it, this area here, the new normal, like we're watching on Amazon. So we'll see if we hold it. But if we do dip, keep an eye on the 191s. But in reality, these 180s, 83, 85, 87 should be interesting. So we'll see how that shakes out. CI. Nice reversal here. Push through the 180s back down. 169s. Kind of similar to this area here. Reversal. So CI has earnings coming up. I'm going to wait for post earnings and see which direction it chooses. If it beats and it runs. And whoever the new president is doesn't say anything negative when it comes to healthcare, this could be interesting. So we'll see how this shakes out. So I would definitely be watching healthcare stocks, 100% watching healthcare stocks. Based on whoever becomes president, they should be mentioning something about healthcare. So I'm keeping an eye on CI to see how this bad boy moves in reaction to whatever is being said by the our whoever our president will be post today. Right. So November 4th and 5th, we'll see. And we'll see what speeches are given, what people are saying. But we'll see. But I'm watching this. 181 to the upside, 190 after. 163, 157. So we'll see how this 170, 173 holds up. But I'm watching all these levels on CI. And if you want to sort of scrunch, I guess that's a word we could use, scrunch up the chart, you can sort of see some levels here. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Back to here. Yep, look at this all the way across here. So it's here, here, almost, and then here on the feather. So CI is definitely interesting. DLTR. And miraculously, right back to the zone. Let's drag this out a little bit. Come on. Feathered it, bounced, and we'll see where we go based on the react to the election. I keep mentioning that because I'm trying to drive that home in your mindset to think that, hey, whatever the market feels after the election, it could be either a continuation of what we've seen, or it could be a reversal. So just keep your eyes open. Stay flexible. And we'll see. So we did tap it, bought back up. We'll see if we get a run and a break back above 97s, or we see a dip below and a fade into the 84.15s on Dollar Tree. Beautiful McDonald's. Nice little dip here. Earnings looks like to be next week, but dip right into these 213s area. Look at that. Nice little flow below. We'll see if we get a buy out of this area, but looks like a consolidation type area. We'll see what we get here. With earnings right around the corner, I won't really be doing too much on McDonald's at all, but I will be waiting and watching. So to the downside, we have 209, then 206, and 201. See these uppers here, these upper areas, upper wicks before we broke. So this will be the new normal. Look at all that. We'll see if we get a dip back into the 206 area to 201 area, more closer to the 201s. But to the upside, we have the 216s, the 221s, 223s. We'll see how this reacts to earnings. It'll definitely be an interesting watch. Goldman Sachs, similar. Look at this here also. So below the zone, bought back up, and sold back off. Similar patterns, right? So you watch these levels. So let's see. We slide this out a few more because this is going to be interesting. So what are we waiting for? We'll see if we get a buy up off the bottom of this zone, this 189-ish area, and a push back through the middle of the zone of 197s. If we hold that and continue to progress and be bullish, then we see 207s. So we'll see how the financials react to whoever is selected for the next 4 years. We'll see how that shakes out. But definitely keep an eye on the financials. It should be interesting. SPY. So right below this 331 by 332.72 area, we'll see what we get. See here, bounces off this area, rejection of the area, drops to 320s. So we'll see what we get. To the upside, we have 332, 337, 339, 344. To the downside, we have the 328s, 320s. What I'll tell everyone is wait for the reaction. Once you see a trend, then follow the trend post election, right? So we'll see how everything shakes out. If you don't get caught heavy trying to guess the direction, take your emotions out of it. Let's see what happens. I encourage everyone to vote and may the best candidate win. Now, and honestly, for us traders, it really doesn't matter who wins. We're gonna make money either way. So whoever wins, it's not gonna stop us from making money. It may change some of the names that we play, but I'm directionally agnostic, and when it comes to trading, I care less who it is. Like we're gonna make money regardless. But if you like this video, please go ahead and tap that like button. And if you would like to receive more content like this, including content from Elisa, as she pushes out videos of her, power pivot strategy and how she utilizes that to find great intraday, pre-market, post-market swing plays, utilizing that strategy and utilizing that script that she created. Please subscribe to our channel, Power of Pivots. We do have news coming, and we just have a lot of things that we're doing, both online trading related and online other things related. We have a lot of businesses that we have going on, a lot of stuff happening, right? So we're just definitely trying to do more things on the trading side because we're getting a lot of people that are asking us questions, and we definitely want to bring more value on that side. So keep your eyes peeled for some things that may be coming down the pipe. So definitely subscribe to our channel, Power of Pivots, on YouTube, and have a great week of trading. Keep your family safe, and look forward to seeing you on our next video. Thank you for your time, and again, stay safe and don't get caught up. Whatever happens in the elections, pay attention to your levels and watch to see what stocks the smart money is rotating into, what stocks they're rotating out of. Don't try to be smarter than the room. Just ride the wave.